country harness it?
Well, some will go to think tanks, some will go to academic institutions, they'll teach, they'll lecture. I spend a lot of time lecturing at universities to try to share my experiences about what the intelligence community and national security community are supposed to be doing, as opposed to what's happening right now. So again, these are good Maria and Michael was so talented, so gifted. This is just shameful what has happened. This is the peak of their careers. And then to be fired like this so summarily and with no justification or reason. It's a reflection on the Tulsa government and on the administration. It's not a reflection on these two individuals.
I know you know them because they've been for their service, and if there's anything they want to communicate directly to American people, they always have a team here. Caroline and Joe Brennan, thank you for starting us off on this today. When we come back, one of Donald Trump's top loyalists in Washington says his new role in the Justice Department will be to quote name and shame those he can outright charge with crimes, such as the investigators like Jack Smith, Alvin Brown, Tisha James. We'll speak next with Judge Michael Ludick, who has a new piece out and says it's time right now to stand up and rise against the administration. To treat the president like a king, plus the real reason Donald Trump backed down from his economy-killing and very, very unpopular losing trade war with China. And later in the broadcast, Pete Buttigieg with a new anti-Trump message for the country, and a message to Democrats about how they really can push back and win right now. All those stories and much more. Then the White House continues after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
International international voices of a global phenomenon explore trending hits by Asian talents from around the world on Horizon. You listen to music or daytime at home with Sirius XM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other connected devices.
Cowboys are kicks. Sometimes you wake up thinking,
Right now,
relationship, whatever you like to about. The Cowboys psychics will give you the guidance you need. They'll certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you to the very best, we guarantee your reading is life-changing. It's free. Cowboys psychic. Call 1-800 today. 20 minutes for just $20. It's not about giving the AIDS products up and the industry. Magazines. Hey, your liver. You know the organ that helps you recover every weekend at the pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. You have a headache, you take it is. You have a stomach ache, you pop it is. Where's the love of your best buddy, the liver? The things that you can do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high quality, all natural ingredients like milk thistle, glow artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which improve and keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Now, please, see for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to Florida, when I was exploring Spain, and 15 regions.
Gratification that both seen at them in Russia something.
Yes, as you say, Vitaly, it does seem deliberately insulting to the Ukrainian delegation, but also to some the Americans, because Marco Rubio is already arrived. Mr. Trump even said that he might make a show if he thought it was going to be a good idea as well. How do the Americans feel?
Well, you're right, it does reveal a certain attitude, even the fact that everyone was kept waiting until literally the 11th hour here in Istanbul. The Americans are coming to Istanbul on Friday. Marco Rubio is currently in Antalya, also Turkey, South Coast. But he and other American representatives will be coming to Istanbul on Friday. So let's see how that plays out. But clearly, disappointment is what was expected.
Very briefly, Vitaly, what should Mr. Zelensky do then? Turn around, go back, or try and confront the also have talks with the Turkish government and any American that arrive.
Well, he's definitely coming to Turkey, but if you turn he would need or his members delegation meet any Russians, the Kremlin would avoid and say, look, we tried, it doesn't want to talk to us.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. And thank you so much for joining us live from Istanbul. I understand Zoe Shevchik just arrived in Turkey as a Russian editor for BBC. And because of the war in Ukraine, around 7 million Ukrainians are living outside the country. Over 6 million of them are in Europe. Neighbouring Poland has been hosting around 2 million since Russia's full-scale invasion some years ago. Now surveys show that there's been a steep fall in the level of sympathy towards Ukraine. In just recent months, the number of Ukrainians living in Poland have told the BBC they've suffered abuse and hostility. Will Burnham reports from Warsaw.
People are now estimated to fled Ukraine, with the majority heading to 3 years ago. But to open its borders and its heart to Ukrainians being
As we said, Ukrainians, we are waiting for you here in Poland. Well,
But now, attitudes towards the end changed. Svetlana wants to tell me about her daughter Yulia's recent experience at a school in Warsaw. We've changed both their names, as Svetlana is reprisals for talking to us.
Żeby było szkoły. Myślę, she always said it because but 2 weeks ago she came home and told me her boy is doing back to Ukraine.
Something incredibly shocking happened the next day.
Which they her witness in Russia themselves started complaining about children speaking Ukraine. Then they pretended to fall to the ground shouting, "Listen, get down." She came with Ukraine.
Days before, a Russian missile killed scores of civilians in Stephanov's hometown, Ukraine. She tells me that news traumatized Yulia. The BBC has spoken to dozens of Ukrainians living in Poland who say there's been a noticeable rise in hostility towards them in recent months, including incidents of abuse of public transport, bullying in schools, and encountering xenophobic material online.
my name is Natalia Panchenko. I'm the head of the board of Studies Ukraine Foundation. Majority of Polish society still support Ukraine and still study Ukraine.
A few months ago, Italia's organization noticed a rise in anti-Ukrainian language being used on social media in Poland.
Then this kind of movement started to become the reality. Recently, we started to have more and more such kind of situation. A Ukrainian works on the shop or reception in the hotel. Sometimes some clients started to tell some very supportive about bad things just because they understand that this person has an Ukrainian accent.
But opinion surveys show that just 50% of Poles are now in favor of accepting Ukrainian refugees. That figure has fallen 7 percentage points in just 4 months. 2 years ago, it was 81%.
Bezpieczeństwo to jest
In the midst of a crucial presidential election campaign, Ukraine has become a hot button political issue. The live TV debates very one. The frontrunner in the race, Rafał Trzaskowski, by Mr. Donald Tusk's party, is the most pro-Ukraine candidate. But analysts say he's toned down his rhetoric to try and attract more conservative voters. He's even closely linked to Ukrainians. The other two major candidates, Conservative Karol Nawrocki and far-right populist Slavomir Mencen, are both skeptical of support for Ukraine. Recently, Mr. Mencen said Poles will stop placing Ukrainians cheap like main narrative Ukrainians that these some of the anti-Ukraine statements distributed by bots that experts say come from Russia. Experts like Mikhail Marek, who runs an NGO that monitors propaganda in Poland. Ukrainians want to kill us. For example, the Ukrainians are responsible for the war. Find ways to discuss Russia. Russia speaking channels. And after that, we see that they are separated. The same code, same text, only just translated by Google Translate. The Polish government recently said Russia is making an unprecedented attempt using disinformation to interfere in the Polish elections. We will see effect this after elections. How many people want to vote or openly for Russia? As people head to the polling stations in just a few days' time, perhaps no other group will be watching the results quite as closely as the Ukrainians were polling.
Do stay with us, lots more to come here on News BBC World Service. This is the BBC World Service with Victoria Hollingsworth, hearing from women on the front line around the world. More female soldiers are fighting than ever before.
I have observed men failing to meet the moment. But this piece, but it is anti-Trump. You were viewed as a voice against Trump. And work is to say for Trump, against Trump, being for the rule of law shouldn't make you against anybody. Certainly not against a sitting American president. What Trump has done is to pervert the law. We started with a story about him firing 60 years worth of nonpartisan intelligence experts. They worked for Democrats and Republicans their whole career. That was their plan for their lives. That no matter which political party won an American election, they would work in the intelligence community to protect America. There's a whole thing that I feel like the pro-democracy movement has ceded. And somehow you're for Trump or against Trump, if you're simply articulating the rule of law. How do you push back to the center and to get a majority of Americans to understand that being for the rule of law shouldn't make you against any American politician?
Good question. And first off, the word that you chose is exactly correct. The president has perverted the law. He has perverted the Constitution and the laws of the United States for the past 100 days, which is to say, and your viewers should understand this, for not one of his signature initiatives of 15, maybe 20, because he has support in the Constitution of the United States and the laws. I was listening to your segment just before I came on. One of his two signature initiatives is the deportation of illegal immigrants to this country. As Ms. Lennon said, the president has no authority whatsoever under the Alien Enemies Act. And every single federal court to address the issue today has so held, with the exception, interestingly, Nicole, of the court in the Western District of Pennsylvania just yesterday afternoon. And the opinion by that judge, it was reasoned, it was long, it was thorough, but it was tortured reasoning. But in the end, Nicole, that judge relied upon Donald Trump's representation that the gang was working at the behest of the Maduro regime. So your segment just before mine completely undercut the rationale of that judge yesterday, which would mean that as of this moment, there's not a federal court in America who has upheld Donald Trump's deportation of illegal immigrants.
Judge, I want to ask you one more question. I have to sneak in a quick break. Will you stick around till the other side?
Of course.
We'll be right back.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about. It ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-474-1811. 800-474-1811. Again, that's 800-474-1811.
Start a business to babysit your poorest performing employees. That's exactly why I started my business, so you don't have to. Hi, I'm Alan Jones, founder and CEO of Bambi. I created Bambi so small business owners can take back control of their business. Need to fire a poor performing employee who happens to now want 3 months off? Your Bambi HR manager will take care of that for you in your first week with us. You spend your time coaching your A players, we'll take care of the rest. I'm so confident that Bambi will help you focus on what you love about running your business that I'm offering a $1 trial to the service for your first month. Trust me, there are no limits to the amount of calls or questions you can give your Bambi HR manager. After your first month, just $29 a month for companies of any size, month to month, no hidden fees, cancel anytime. Get a month of Bambi for just $1. Go to Bambi.com and type MSNBC under radio to schedule your first call with an HR manager right now. Go to BAMBE.com, MSNBC radio.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side. That is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file bad tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-249-2215. 800-249-2215. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-249-2215.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more. In as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Don't let anything slow your growth. Get funding fast at swishfunding.com. Swishfunding.com.
Judge, due process is a thing that everybody understands. You see people at protests carrying signs that say due process. The White House is now publicly, Stephen Miller did it on Friday in front of the White House on the North Lawn, talk about how they are looking at withholding habeas rights from immigrants. And I think in the last couple hours, Christina on Capitol Hill said the same thing, that she's not a lawyer, but it's the president's prerogative. No, it is not. And I wonder what your thoughts are for how everyday people, how all of us stand up for this right before the Trump administration sort of socializes it with Trump's base, socializes it with right-wing media, and then takes away a long-held American constitutionally guaranteed right.
Well, I dealt with Stephen Miller's preposterous statement that the president was considering suspending the constitutional writ of habeas corpus. He went on to say that the president's decision would turn on whether the courts ruled in his favor or not on this question of due process. But as you said, the president of the United States has no right whatsoever unilaterally to suspend habeas corpus. If that's going to be done, it has to be done by the Congress of the United States, and it can only be done in times of war or the equivalent, an invasion during a time of war. The simple migration to the United States of immigrants from foreign lands doesn't even begin to justify suspending the writ of habeas corpus. Now, to your question, this is, look, the president understands all of this too, Nicole. That's the most important thing. He understands that everything he's proposing is unconstitutional or in violation of the laws of the United States. But in his cynicism, he knows that if he overwhelms the nation with illegal initiative after illegal initiative, that the courts cannot even possibly resolve before the end of his term. And in any event, the damage that he will have done to America and to the individuals that he's retaliating against, it will be done. And he knows that. But on the habeas question, every American understands the concept of due process. And the President of the United States, of America said in a televised interview when asked, do you believe that you have to provide due process to these deportees? He looked right in the camera and said, I don't know. I don't know. Only seconds before, the interviewer had asked the President of the United States of America whether he had an obligation to uphold the Constitution of the United States, Nicole. And the President said to that question also, I don't know. I think I said to you, if not to someone, one of your colleagues, that those were the most important words ever spoken by the President of the United States.
Yeah, it's so important to have your help in focusing the mind. I don't know if you watched Jon Stewart. We all should be watching it. But on Monday, he made a point about how some of the blur and some of the volume business Trump does let this issue get rolled in with all the other outrages. But, I appreciate your help in focusing our mind on this one. Former federal judge Michael Luttig, thank you. The piece is in the Atlantic. Right now, it's called The End of the Rule of Law in America. It is must read. Up next for us, the trade war whiplash and backlash. Some brand new reporting from the Washington Post on the real reason Donald Trump clawed back his fantasy tariff trade war with China. We'll be right back with that.
There's a world or a new wave rules. First wave, where 80s era alternative and cult classics play 24/7. In your new wave fix, on First Wave, 33 with Sirius XM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, and other internet-connected devices and speakers.
And California psychics, we know that sometimes you could wake up thinking,
Or could be problematic.
Sure, and I mean, let me give you the TikTok, as they say, right? So in early April, the National Intelligence Council, which is a council comprised of intelligence officers, will write a report, and subsequently been made public, so people can actually look it up now. It says that it is the consensus of the Act, which requires that you have either a state of war or that you have an incursion. And so that requires the administration, which is well affecting the office of go read the report. And when it was declassified, it was shown that she was not honestly characterizing what the NIC was saying. And so this is the conclusion of this tawdry